Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I've gotten a lot of comments on my videos, particularly my build videos, saying that most GMs don't allow the free archetype variant rule. Well, GMs, I'm here to tell you, if you don't use free archetype, you should, especially for advanced players. And that's what today's video is about. Today, I want to talk about why the free archetype is fair and balanced, and how it can add a lot of value to your game if you use it correctly. Black Dragon Gaming did do a similar video to this, so definitely go check that video out in the description below. Let's get started. So first, I want to talk about roleplay. Roleplay is about 90% of what this game is about, right? Well, the free archetype variant rule can add much more roleplay value to your game. Think about it for a second. How do you think characters get the dedication for the free archetype in the first place? If you're thinking that you would just give them the dedication for their free archetype, there's a much better way of doing it. If your fighter wants to be able to cast arcane spells, he's going to have to find a wizard or some other arcane caster that's willing to teach him. Make them roleplay that out. The finding him and the training with him. And not every archetype is going to be available. So I would say have them come up with a few archetypes that they want to take for their character. The free archetype can also lead to stories that might not be told otherwise. Strength of Thousands is a perfect example. You're at a magic school in that AP. But instead of forcing everyone to play spellcasters, you get a free archetype into wizard or druid. If everyone in the game was spellcasters, it'd be a different story than if anybody can be any class. If the rogue can cast enchantment spells, then you're looking at some pretty nice roleplay. If the wizard is trained in more skills because he archetyped into rogue, then that's even more roleplay potential. Free archetype does not just have to be about combat. Okay, now it's time to talk about choice. Speaking of which, the best way to support me is to choose to pledge to me on Patreon. Link is in the description. Oh, and while you're down there, go ahead and hit that like button. Anyway, as of Guns and Gears, there are now 126 archetypes and 20 classes. Even if you have only picked one archetype and kept drawing feats from that archetype on the archetype feats side of the free archetype, that's still 2,500 choices. That's a lot. You certainly can use those options to power up your character. But the free archetype can also allow your players to take more flavorful options while still being as good at what they normally do as they are. Your player's fighter might be really good at hitting things with his axes, but he might also be good at juggling them with the free archetype. For some APs, you may be better at skill-based actions than in combat. The reverse is also true, but with free archetype, you can be good at both, which, as I've said before, can make some very interesting stories. Extinction Curse is a perfect example. In that AP, you're part of a circus act, so you are more likely to build towards skills than combat. Some of the encounters in that adventure path can be very difficult, especially in the beginning. A certain bear in particular. Those of you that have played Extinction Curse know exactly which one I'm talking about. Teamwork can obviously help with this. However, another way to do it is through the free archetype. More options means more ways they can deal with said bear. But that's definitely not the whole story. You can definitely use the free archetype variant rule for pure mechanical value. But even if you do, it's not near as broken as something like dual class. Keep in mind that you can only use the archetype side of your free archetype for archetype feats. Archetype feats can be way less powerful than class features or even high-level feats. For instance, a spellcaster might get 1 or 2 extra spells per spell level, and that's with taking multiple feats. That isn't near as broken as getting 2 full pools of spells like you do in dual class. And come on, 1 extra spell of a spell level isn't going to change much. I've played a couple of homebrews where I used free archetype, and I didn't have to change the encounters at all. And even if you archetype into a class archetype like a barbarian, you're still not getting access to any higher than 10th level feats. And again, that's with multiple feats. And not until level 20. Also, you're not changing the stats of your character, except maybe getting expert in weapons or a skill a little bit early. Getting an extra skill increase is really good for a rogue. That's also why dedication feats are the only ones that really up skills. And also why you have to take 2 additional feats past the dedication to take another dedication. Because expert in 9 skills before level 7 would be a little bit ridiculous. You also got to keep in mind that you decide what archetypes are available. That should be based on the area, your preference, and what their diplomacy role is to gather information. For example, it wouldn't make sense for the archetype for Hell Knights to be available in a place where Hell Knights do not exist. All this good stuff being said, free archetypes aren't for every party. It's definitely too advanced for new players. I might allow it if people have played Pathfinder 1 before, because they're used to a whole bunch of options. Also, make sure you talk to your party before using it. Some parties definitely won't want to use it. But based on what I've seen on Reddit, about 90% of people will want to use it. But it's a fantastic rule for advanced players. It's a lot less powerful than people that don't use it think. I will admit, there is a little bit of a power jump. However, it's definitely fair and balanced within the rules of the game. Dual class is meant for parties that don't have enough players. It's what I said about Gestalt, and it's what I'm saying about dual class. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the video and want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right below. But if you want to watch a video like this right away, check out this video right here. And until next time, teamwork is vital.